What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Taiwan Talks, where growth is inevitable without knowledge, understanding, and life experiences. I had to get through that in one piece. So when I tell you I done just pushed the record button about 3 times, this is an unhinged video. By the way, I look crazy or whatever. I don't look crazy. I look like myself. I'm relaxing or whatever like that. But my glasses is broken. I gotta get some more. These is my backup. Like I said, I'm at the house chilling or whatever. Just got in town a couple of days ago, so I'm still allowing my body to relax and rest and stuff like that while I still move forward. So again, I've been trying to get this video out for the last couple of days. It's been on my mind, it's been on my spirit, it's been just in general things coming down my timeline or whatever like that. The topic is parents, okay? I'm not really going sugarcoat this video at all. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell, most importantly, my truth. And in the midst of saying that, I had a best friend that has told me that the videos that I was doing will hurt people, but it will also help people. In the same sentence, I'm gonna say that why do we want to help everybody else, but we don't want to help ourselves? So again, like I said, it's been on my mind, it's been on my heart to get out and stuff like that. And like I said, when I do a video, I usually do it for me. I'm doing it for me and for me only about that. And then once it takes on its own journey of people watching, people listening, then it becomes what it's going to become. Also, um, times in the past, I didn't really want to do controversial subjects and topics or whatever, because people tend to take what you say and they want to twist it and make it something else. But again, the time of my life, I don't really fit. I really don't care. I don't care how. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care how people, what people say about me. I mean, we all adults, and it's totally okay to have a discussion and move forward. Whether that's to move forward to not speak again, or whether that's to move forward or like that to continue, doing whatever you want to do, whatever like that, living life kosherly or whatever like that. So let me continue to move on. We only got two parents, okay? We only got a mother and a father, and then you take on your grandparents and stuff like that. Everybody has done the best that they can. My mother and my father loves me immensely, loves me. Um, like I said, they love me. They care about me, so I ain't never ever feel unloved. I understand that there is people that have parents that make them feel completely unloved, completely unwanted. That's not my story, okay? You don't have to have a story like that for your parents still to be unavailable. And I'll just say it like that because that's what it is. So at this point in time, I have released, and allowed my parents to. I have released them of their parental duties or whatever. Now, I don't think that parents are ever relieved of their parental duties, because again, as long as you have children on this earth, you should always, in my you should always care or whatever like that. In my understanding or my opinion and stuff like that or whatever. And a lot of men do have mommy issues, and that's just the way that society puts it or like that. That's just how I like to put it as well. And it's true or whatever. Whether your mother had a significant other that you called father, or that was your actual biological father, because notice how I said that or whatever. There's a lot of single parents out there, and that's the reason why I said it. There's also a lot of parents that were together. Forget about being married or not, whether it was an actual picture, because now that I look into the 26 and then look in the past and stuff like that, even a mother and father that has been married, and what society looks at it and calls it as what it's supposed to be, the correct picture, I still don't think that that's the actual picture, because then you can have a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage that is now being inclusive into a family that's bridging still a gap between the relationship between the mother and the father, and the relationship between the child and the mother and the child and the father. Because again, notice how I said that or whatever like that. I don't think I'm the most genius person, but there's a way to say things, there's a way to do things and stuff like that, and people even should see that if there's an issue in a home, the child is immediately going to veer in on that. And then they're immediately going to have emotions. And then they're immediately going to have opinions or whatever like that, and be affected by it. And then now you're having a child choose um, one side or another. And that's not how it should be. A child should be choosing its family. A child should be choosing, you know, yeah, and even in that or whatever, like I said, a lot of people go through different things. Everybody's journey is different. So you may have dealt with something at the age of 5 that I didn't deal with. Again, that's just unfortunately regular social norms of anybody's environment. You're just going to go through things. Nobody's picture is perfect, and that's also why I don't mind putting myself in a light or whatever, to where I'm using my examples and stuff like that to get my thoughts across, to get my point across or like that, and also to just highlight different things that men and women deal with on in society, period, you know, on a social aspect or whatever. I'll just say it like that. So continuing, I'm just choosing to choose my words carefully and stuff like that, because even parents that hear people, and at the end of the day, we're still kids, we're still children to somebody or whatever, but parents still have they still feel a way or whatever of when people speak in general about being a parent. And then especially why that people may feel, like I don't have a say so in this topic because I don't have a child and I'm not a parent. So, but still, or whatever, on the back end, or whatever like that, I'm somebody's child, so I still have emotions and opinions, or whatever like that, on being a parent, or whatever like that, or parental skills, period. And then I have been around kids and stuff like that, to where, you know, on the outside looking in, I feel as though, yeah, I can say certain things or like that about somebody else's situation or like that, about their kids or like that, to highlight, observe. Like I said, really, I don't talk about nobody's parental skills and stuff like that, because it's really off topic, really, when it comes to people, period. And I really say that to anybody. But when I'm talking about my own parents, yeah, I don't, nobody has a say so to tell me, you know, how I can how I can veer in or like that on my own situation. So I'm just painting the picture, setting the standard or whatever, that some people will be upset about this video like that, and then any videos that I put up like that. So of course, like I said, ain't no, don't this is incorrect grammar, but don't nobody do nothing right. That's just really where it stands. Even when you do stuff for people, people feel like, it's not enough or whatever. And that's also why I don't go over and beyond for people. What I do for people is what I do for people, and that's it. I don't really go over and beyond and stuff like that, even though what I do in the norm is over and beyond. But um both of my parents have made decisions in their life and stuff like that, to where, whether it was selfish or whether it wasn't selfish, it still was. um and I tend to get my stuff across when I veer out. So excuse my demeanor. I might not be looking at the camera or whatever like that. But again, this is specifically for me or whatever, to get out of my chest. And then again, when I create my videos and stuff like that, it does, different things in the community for other people or whatever. And I mean, I'm glad for that. And if it doesn't either, I'm still, glad for that or whatever, because again, it's helping me or whatever. But I literally, let me just talk and get this out. I literally have been struggling with the decision or whatever, just to again to relieve my parents of their parental duty. I'm the type of person that if you want to deal with me, deal with me, deal with me all the way, deal with me 110% and whatever like that. Because if you don't, all right, whatever you got going on or whatever like that, if you like it, I love it. I don't have time to be sitting up there checking on people, you know, sitting up there stroking their ego, whatever like that, rubbing them like a fucking cat and stuff like that or whatever. Like, get it together or whatever like that, or do what you want to do, whatever like that. But I'm not going to be involved. I'm not going to take my hard earned worked thoughts, my care, whatever like that. I'm not going to do all that or like that if you're not doing for yourself or whatever. So both of my parents are at this moment in their lives unavailable. I'm not sitting up here picking and choosing or whatever like that, and mommy and daddy and all this or whatever like that or like that. If you are unavailable like that, be unavailable, but also know that I don't have to accept that or whatever. I have always told my parents and stuff like that, and specifically my mother or whatever like that, to keep the communication and stuff like that. No matter what's going on, no matter where you at, no matter what you going through or whatever like that, because some of the stuff that both my parents have gone through like that, I cannot help them because I'm still going through my own things, or I'm going through a domino effect of what I created or whatever. And even though people tend to also put uh, their decisions and like that on their parents, or the reason why I do this is because of this, or the reason why I do that, that's why I can't get it together. Because no, that's one thing I don't do. Now I understand that a lot of stuff that I do is because of a toxic traits that I learned. You still gotta unlearn them or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot play the blame game that we have gone over. If you have, you know, follow me or whatever like that, or listen to some of my videos or whatever like that, you will either pick up on that or you will hear it in real time that I'm a firm believer that you sign up for what you sign up for. And I want to do this video too clear and concise. I don't want to sit up here and be stumbling over my words, because that's not who I am, and that's not what I want this to be or whatever like that. I also don't want people to take this out of context, which is the reason why I had an issue with doing it or whatever. But I knew for a fact that I needed to do it for myself and stuff like that. Even the way my mom is or whatever like that, she's not really that lovey-dovey type person or whatever like that. And I don't like to get into the signs and all that and stuff like that or whatever either, and stuff like that. But it is interesting or like that how Aries, Aquarius, or whatever like that, whatever your sign, it is very, very, very close to a lot of what people are and stuff like that. So I just like to, you know, look over it and stuff like that as an interesting factor, and yes, learning or like that, and understanding myself, and sometimes even other people, whatever like that. But like I said, I really don't hone in on it or like that. It's usually kind of like as a humor aspect or like that, like, oh snap, that is kind of funny or like that, because they is almost like exactly like that, or I might say that about myself or whatever like that. But continue to move forward. I'm only saying this because um a lot of the stuff too that our parents project on us or like that, yes, or whatever like that, it becomes us or whatever like that, or we or we say that it becomes us, and it showcases, it illustrates or whatever as it becomes us, but it does not, it shouldn't become us or whatever like that, because that's not who we are as a person. It's something that we learned, and then we made it okay for us to do or whatever. And again, I know all of my triggers, not all of them, excuse me. I'm learning all of my triggers. And that's another thing. Like I said, I'm working on myself daily. That's the only thing that you can do, is work on yourself to become a better person or like that. As a community, as we become better together or whatever. That's literally the only thing I can. My father has decided to be in and out of jail all my life, and be in jail before my mom was pregnant with me, during, after, like, you know, it became excessive to the point to where I said that I was never going to be in jail or whatever like that, because that's just something that I've seen or whatever. Even since high school, that was my first time seeing my father in real time as an adult, as a closest adult that I was going to be or whatever like that. Like what I was like in high school, what like 17, what like that, 16, 17 or whatever. Um, I'm thinking with like a freshman, sophomore, or whatever like that, and see some people will be like, okay, to each his own. Why are you saying this or like that? It's not to put nobody on Front Street or whatever like that because baby, it's all public files or whatever, and then it becomes excessive or whatever. And I just anything that anybody does more than once. Anything somebody does more than 10 to 15 times about that, any decisions and stuff like that, that is insanity. Anything you do over and over again and get the same results, that's fucking insanity. Excuse my language right there, because I think YouTube really don't play about that either. But I'm just getting it off of my chest or whatever, and I really don't understand uh how you can continue to do the same things thinking that you're going to get the same results or whatever, all stemming behind principles and concepts of you just don't want to conform, or you just don't want to listen to what anybody has to say or whatever like that, or take any direction or whatever. I just never understood that people that want to do this want to do that, but they don't want to learn just the basics of what it takes to master something or to do something. Now, I don't have a problem with doing stuff a certain way or even a different way, because that's how I look at myself. I know for a fact that it's a lot of things that I don't like to do, but instead of saying I don't like to do it, I will still do it. I'll just do it in my own way. Now, in the past, I've seen that it may have worked, it may not have worked. That's all me, dealing with me or whatever like that. And yes, I know that there is a lot to work on when it comes to me, my triggers, my this, my that. This is the reason why I'm still, always working on myself and stuff like that. But to allow parents to come in to uproot your situation or like that, or either shake it up or like that and make it even worse or whatever like that, is just a total different thing. You know, people have to understand to build boundaries, and that's what I had to do. I had to build boundaries. So again, this is not something to where I'm badgering my parents, or I'm badgering this or like that, or I'm saying this or like that about the decisions that they have made or whatever, because every decision that was made and that was not made helped me get to where I'm at or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to look at that. You have to look at the times where that person was there or that person was not there. Because let's just, to be completely clear, just to completely clarify, my mother was a single parent. I did not have my father in my life and stuff like that. But I've learned to accept that everybody is not meant to be parents, and everybody is not meant to be up and close, up close and personal, or in the forefront of everything. Because I know for a fact that if my father was around, I would be completely a different person. I mean, it's not brain science. I would completely be a different person, because who he is or whatever like that, and the things that he stands for is completely different than what my mother stood for and what my mother's guidelines were, and what she tried to portray for her kids and stuff like that, coming from a complete environment of whatever her environment was, which I know of. My mother went to one of the most worst schools that there was, and one of the worst schools in Philadelphia, to be exact or whatever. And again, like some people may think that, oh, you telling your parents and your mom's business or whatever like that. I ain't trying to be funny, but this is my story. This is not theirs or whatever. They can say that this is their story like that, but every story has at least three sides to it. It's their story, the truth, and then what really happened or whatever. And sometimes that is different, because even though what truthfully happened or like that, in somebody else's mind, it could really have happened totally different. So I still think, again, like I said, there's a lot of sides to a lot of stories, and people just think, oh, it's one sided. it's never one sided or whatever. Because even on the outside looking in or at that, somebody can say something completely different about my story and what they think that it is and what it was or whatever. Now, of course, I have a big hand in it and stuff like that, and what I did and what I didn't do, and stuff like that or whatever. But it still all goes, into an entire picture or whatever. And I'm just saying that I still claim responsibility on things that was not even my fault, and I still claim responsibility. Like, all right, let me just go ahead and take that on the chin and do what I need to do to move forward right there now. And hopefully, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking, I'm getting it out, but sometimes I feel like I'm talking around it or whatever like that, not really giving details because I'm still that person inside me is still dealing with, oh, you're a child or whatever like that, and you shouldn't be even be speaking in this matter. But again, I go against the what a lot of families grew up in, or culturally, African American culturally, we have gone through, or we've heard all of our life and stuff like that. Oh, what stays in this house, stays in this house. What goes on in this house stays in this house. So like that, we all heard it. Don't open up the door, whatever like that, unless it's me or like that. And it's always secrets. It's always, don't tell nobody and stuff like that. Just shush or like that. Like what? Like why? When everybody else is going through the same shit, you think that there's not people that's going through it that can't pay they bills without that? Or you think that it's people that's going through it that don't have anything to eat or whatever like that? Yes, there was times where I did not have anything to eat as a young kid or whatever like that, and I know that is a lot of people's reality. But on a bigger standpoint or whatever like that, my mom also was a beast and at manipulation or whatever. And I can laugh now because then we thought it was a game, or I'm just gonna talk about myself like that and stuff like that because I do have an older brother and stuff like that. We was raised together and stuff like that, but his picture and stuff like that was definitely different than mine. Even though our picture was the same as what we went through together like that, it still was different or whatever like that. Everybody's story is different. I only say that because it's not like, oh, he was better but I was better like that. No, we were going through some of the same things. It's just mentally I took it different than mentally we take things differently or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So for me it could have been something different, for them it could have been something different or whatever. Even my sister or whatever like that and stuff like that on my father's side or like that, we've talked about different things, and it's different mentally again for everybody because they seen something completely different than I did or whatever. It may have been closer for them, and when I mean closer, well, like that, it may have been, like I said, this is just one aspect of my picture or whatever. This is just one aspect, of what I went through and stuff like that or what that. People don't even understand even the path that you were on. You still came into contact. Excuse me. You still came into contact with other people. You still came in contact, with other people that had a say so, that made a change, that made a mark or whatever like that, whether it was negative or positive and stuff like that. They still came in and they did something that left a mark and stuff like that, a last standing on you or anybody else that was around or whatever. So I also be saying this to other people like that and stuff like that. Excuse the grammar. A lot of this stuff is be going out of the window. When I'm just, speaking freely and stuff like that. But I tell people all the time, when we met or when we meet and stuff like that, it's right there in the moment. You don't know what I'm going through. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you have gone through. So you just have to give people grace and stuff like that. Also, sometimes I'll be having to apologize to my friends and stuff like that for being MIA and stuff like that because I'm all mental. So a lot of times I'll be in my mind, I'll be in my head, I'll be taking care of pure business. I'll be taking care of business and I'll be like, what's the next thing? What's the next business venture or whatever like that. Like I'm always in my mind and internal and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that sometimes I dislike about myself when I'm doing things. I'm doing things straight in the moment. And when I say that, like, so I'm not in the moment as I should be or whatever. A lot of times when I do things, I'm just doing it. I'm not taking it in. I'm not smelling the trees at all. I'm not smelling the flowers at all. I'm just doing it. I'm in the moment or whatever. Um so a lot of times I be like, dang, you gotta be more in the moment. I'm really in the moment, but I more like forget about everything else that's happening around me. And I don't like that because it's just like you do have to make time for people. You do have to make time for situations, people, places, and things, but not all the time. Like I said, like if you can't do it, you can't do it. If I'm visiting somewhere and then yeah, like everybody is trying to know, like that's different. I'm here for a reason. I can't be distracted about that. Those things are different. But a lot of times we do use those same situations and instances and stuff like that to where we're making excuses about that. And it is important to make time. It is important to make time for people. It is important to make time for ourselves and stuff like that. And a lot of times it's just we on the go, we on the go, we on the go. Life is making us more on the go. AI, all this technology, a lot of this stuff is coming into our life, making us speed up 10 times faster than what we're already going. And it creates all types of problems within us that we don't see. So, like I said, again, I'm just breaking down life. I'm breaking down just different things that I have decided to make, different in my life. To just, to make a change or whatever like that, just to do different things because, yeah, the past whatever years has been teaching me this. The past whatever years has showed me this. And also, I also understand that if you allow things also to happen and stuff like that, they're going to continue to happen. Then it's just like, wait, how did I get there? Because you allowed that, you know what I'm saying? You allowed it to happen. You didn't say anything about when it was going on. So that made it seem like you didn't care or whatever like that. Or if you didn't care, you didn't really have the time or whatever like that. I had the time. I like to, make time or whatever for what I want to make time for. So my bad, y'all. I'm being nosy out the window. Okay. I'll be a nosy out the window. I'll tell the truth or whatever like that. I can't lie. I can't lie or whatever like that. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm an Aries. We definitely tell the truth well like that. And there's anything going on like that, we're gonna tell you and stuff like that. We do not like to to be dishonest and stuff like that. It's not even gonna come across right. We're gonna be acting so weird. It ain't even gonna make no sense like that. So I like to be honest with myself. So y'all, I ain't gonna lie, like I can really go every time I do these videos, I feel like I ain't doing enough. I ain't saying enough well like that, but I did say enough. I said probably too much or whatever like that without going into detail. And that's the thing, I didn't really go into detail and stuff like that. But just in this particular time or whatever like that, like parents or whatever like that are very, very important. They don't understand that we think about them just as much as they do us. And now that my parents are getting older or whatever like that, it's my job or whatever like that to, take care of them or like that, or at least to be like, y'all good, da da da, whatever. But what happens when you got parents that's taking the card like, oh, don't worry about me, I'm good or whatever like that and stuff like that. But you really not good, like, or in your mind or whatever like that. I'm trying to, like, create more of a communication aspect that you just not even trying to deal with it. So I want to talk to, the people that be like, oh, you only got one parent. Okay, bitch. And that parent is still going to be that same parent as back in the day as in now. What like that? Yes, people change. Yes, people do things different like that. And even people do pass away, whatever like that. But I'm a realist or whatever like that. I'm trying to prepare my mind for the future or whatever like that. For when these things do occur, I don't be completely messed up. You know what I'm saying? Because your parents are always going to be who your parents are going to be. They're not going to change. So I don't like when people be like, oh, you got one parent, like that, you better love on them like that. Okay, I do love them like that. I need them to love on me back. And if they're not loving on me back, whatever like that, that's fine too. But you know what I'm saying, make it to where it makes sense or whatever like that. I'm just not about to be one of them people to where you can stomp all over me and stuff like that, and you can just tell me, you know what I'm saying, that it's raining, but you really pissing on my leg. No, I'm that type of person or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying, tell me what's going on and don't lie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do to people. I want the same thing in return. And yeah, I don't need to be worrying about you 24/7 or like that would give me, you know what I'm saying, no real of what's going on. I just, I'm not like that. You can't sit up there and manipulate me or whatever, and I'm your own child, and I know what's going on. I can feel it or whatever like that. I'm very intuitive, so you definitely can't lie. I'm that type of friend that's going to ask you 2 questions, and after those 2 questions, I'm going to ask you 5 more questions to make sure that them 2 questions make sense. Like, that's just how I am or whatever like that. If you tell me something like that, I'm going to ask you more questions like that to make sure it makes sense like that. Because if it don't make sense, I'm like Judge Judy, it's a lie. Or even if it ain't a lie like that, evidently, you know what I'm saying, you stretching the truth or you don't want me to know. And if it's like that or like that, you should have even told me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And then also, I don't do it now, but in the past I have been one. Yes, if you tell me something that's going on, I'm gonna try to fix it or whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm a guy though. You know what I'm saying? Forget about, preferences and what I like and all that. Like that. At the end of the day, I'm still a guy like that. That's what we do like that. We we mend stuff or whatever like that, or we fix stuff or whatever like that. No matter what it is or like that, we just, y'all, I'm being old. I'm always cold, so I told you I'm being completely unhinged on this video. I'm relaxing and stuff like that. So I just wanted to, get my video across and stuff like that, like I always do. Talvon Talks or whatever like that. It's exactly what it is, talking and stuff like that or whatever. And I've been doing this for a while now. I've been doing this for a while. So it's just crazy how, people, I don't know. I'm never okay with not knowing where my next meal is going to come from. I don't never know. I'm not okay with not knowing, you know, um, seeing the end of the tunnel or whatever like that, knowing that everything is going to be okay. I don't mind having faith. I got crazy faith or whatever, but having unbalance is completely different, and signing up for that or whatever like that is also completely different as well or whatever. Once you make certain decisions, which is the reason why I'm careful about my decisions and stuff like that, but also when I make my decisions, I promise you I stand on them. I stand on my decisions, you know what I'm saying, even sometimes when my decisions is wrong or whatever like that, or it may seem wrong or whatever like that, or I know what wrong is and stuff like that, so you know what I'm saying. But sometimes I feel like even when I do these videos or like that, most of the time when I do my videos, I feel, you know what I'm saying, I feel like, all right, I'm good. I feel I feel like I could move on. This one, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy because I feel even more crazy that I did the video than you know what I'm saying, I thought I was gonna feel after I did the video, like conquered, and I got some type of something done or whatever. So it is interesting or whatever like that when you do things and you do things differently, how they turn out or whatever. And I've done it in the past. Like I said, I'm still gonna stand on every decision that I make or what that I've done in the past. It ain't never steered me wrong, so I'm gonna keep doing things, you know what I'm saying, that I feel is good for me or like that, because that's one thing that I've learned or like that, me talking about different things or whatever and getting them off my chest or whatever is just one way of me freeing myself or whatever like that and feeling better. But like I said, I promise y'all, I really wasn't no type of emotionally broken up before. I promise you, before I pushed the button, I promise you, I was just like chilling. But more and more and more, cause I don't know, it's crazy. I feel like I'm almost exposing myself. But y'all know, like the controversial videos that I made before. So it's crazy that certain topics, and you know what it is though. I said at the beginning, and I said it indirectly, but I feel like I'm putting somebody on Front Street. That's why everything right now inside of my body is anxiety, nervous, whatever like that. But that shouldn't be. and I'm telling my own story or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even really go into detail like that because I was just so distracted by what I'm feeling right now and stuff like that. And again, I'm telling you like that it's crazy that when it comes to helping other people, I'll do it in a minute, but I'm not trying to help myself. Of even just going through all I'm doing is allowing myself to feel these feelings. I'm doing it purposely, and that's why I wanted to do the video. I know what I'm doing or whatever. I just, what I'm saying, I didn't really want to do it because I feel like it's nobody else's business. Like, let's just really talk about, the real true feelings out there. I feel like it's nobody's business what's going on with me and my circle, whatever like that. So I don't want it to get out, you know what I'm saying? So now that it's out or whatever like that, all right, boom. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it will bridge other stuff that I will hear about or whatever, and then I'm just gonna have to bag that up, you know what I'm saying, respectfully, and I'm gonna say respectfully because hopefully that anybody else that comes to me is coming to me respectfully, or they will get cussed out. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying. Unfortunately, some things have not left in me, okay, and God is still dealing with me. But that's you can that's only valid if I'm coming to you disrespectful. You know what I'm saying. You might as well just get prepared for that, and people don't be thinking that, like, why would you say something disrespectful out of your mouth and think that it's okay and think that nobody's going to say nothing about it. So anyway, off of that, because I'm indirectly saying, please be careful what you say about this topic or whatever like that, if it's not about you or whatever like that, and you taking these words of wisdom and taking them and moving on or whatever like that, because like I said, I do these videos and stuff like that to highlight different topics within myself and within other people or whatever like that to become better. I don't do this stuff like that for people to throw it back in my face and think that I'm not going to say nothing, okay? So, but again, I moved around every single year of my life. So so in real time, I learned to accept it. But now it's mentally draining when I think about it, because even certain timelines I can't really put together because it was a blur. And I talk about it indirectly all the time with different people like that, people in my circle and people that's not really in my circle that don't even know that they being a part of, this or whatever like that. And it's just still things that I say, the communication that I have with different people that, like I said, just help me. So now I'm coming out of it. Now I'm feeling better like that. I'm straight, like I said, or whatever. Once I do it, it's the rap, you know what I'm saying? I take it on the chin, do what I need to do and keep it moving or whatever. But it's crazy the way I be inspirational and stuff like that and still do it or like that and then be feeling how I'm feeling or whatever like that, or going through the ins and outs that I be going through it like that. So all of this is emotional damage. All of this is emotional baggage. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said mommy issues. Let me really help y'all men out or whatever like that to really, really deal with y'all mommy issues or whatever like that, because we all have them. And if you don't deal with it, then it becomes women issues. Then it becomes, to where you have issues with women and you don't know why. You're doing things to women that you don't know why or whatever like that. And then you don't even know how to get it together like that. I'm trying to tell you, if you think that it's any type of whatever like that, it's always go back to the source and stuff like that. And I'm even going to go a little further or whatever. But your mom is also not only the issue. You got to go to the head too. What your grandmother is like and what your grandfather is like and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say this too, whatever like that, to free my mother or whatever like that. And yes, I'm dragging everybody into it because it's still all a product of my environment. But my grandmother wasn't stable either. And that's where my mom got it from. So instability has been an issue like that in my family or whatever like that for a while. So then you got me now trying to, do what I'm doing or whatever like that as a young adult or whatever like that in society or whatever like that, trying to do stuff that no one has ever done before. I have my own business nobody has ever done before in my family. I have my master's degree. Nobody has ever done that in my family, except for my aunt. And she has a double master's or whatever like that, Rhonda Williams. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care about really saying the names or whatever like that because people know. It's not a secret. And again, I'm not interested in keeping secrets in my family like that, because that has never served my family or served anybody else or whatever like that. At this point in time like that, it's 2026 and everything needs to be unveiled or whatever like that. This is, that's another problem with the world. And I ain't gonna go too much into politically or whatever like that, because that's not my area of strength, and I don't want it to be, because again, all of these subjects will make people, you know what I'm saying, they are sensitive topics, and I don't have time. I just don't have time like that. I pick my battles, and anyway, I'm just saying that that's the problem with today's society as well. We got a lot of secrets. The world has a lot of secrets, or whatever like that, and they're trying to keep those secrets in order for certain things not to be unveiled or whatever like that. But you know what I'm saying? Unveil them. Like, let's just move on. We already know some of the horror stuff that went on or whatever like that. At this point, we didn't heard it and seen it all like that. Unveil it all, okay? Unveil it all or whatever like that, because anything that is covered, ooh, my God, anything that's covered. I actually learned this like in real time recently, and somebody told me that, and it also had to do with religion or whatever like that in my relationship with God. And I have not been to church in a long time or whatever like that, but I still believe in my heart that, you know what I'm saying, and it's also something I've been struggling with or whatever, because I really don't like people in my face. I don't. I'm just being honest, and so I don't like to go sometimes to church or like that, or other places or like that, to where, it ain't my house or whatever. It's God's house, yeah, but it ain't y'all's house either. And that's the thing. You're going into somebody else's house, and they're comfortable with how the things are. They're comfortable with how the things are there, right? You also know that you can't have no say so in nobody else's house, right? That's the problem. A lot of people will try to go into somebody else's house, and they will try to orchestrate it the way they want it to be. Even the same way how we orchestrate the Bible of how we want it to, go. So now I'm really coming into, speaking, and not really speaking with my mind or whatever like that. I'm speaking with how I wanted to speak. I just want to get it all out. I just want to get it all out without sitting up here trying to think about who I'm going to be offending and all that or like that. And that's the problem again. I be trying to do things and stuff like that with, and I be thinking about this person. I be thinking about that person or like that. We have to move through life without thinking about nobody else but ourselves and stuff like that. Because on the surface, God is always going to make sure that you are good. He's going to make sure your kids is good. He's going to make sure that your circle is good. So don't worry about, you know what I'm saying, what's going on or like that with this person like that. Worry about yourself or like that, and allow God to worry about you and your circle or whatever like that. And I promise you everything will be fixed and stuff like that. So even me, I'm trying to sit up here and make sure I dot the I and cross the T. It ain't like that sometimes. I didn't already said enough or whatever like that to highlight a lot of the issues that people are going through, or that you may be going through like that, to even, you know what I'm saying, get somebody to the next stage. That's all I like to do. That's all I want to do. I'm just, a liaison or like that, bridging the gap and stuff like that. Damn gnat in here been irking me. My plants sometimes be having these damn gnats come around or whatever like that. Cause other than that, I don't be playing, be about keeping my stuff clean or whatever. But yeah, this weather's been humid too. Ain't been helping with probably certain little gnats getting inside of the house through the windows or whatever. But anyway, y'all see every little distraction like that, I'll be on top of it. And that's what it is. It's distractions in life that gets us off focus or whatever like that, to what, whatever we got going on or whatever like that. So again, I just chose not to allow. And our parents is our everything. Our parents is our center. Our parents is in the center of our heart. Our parents is our priority, just like our loved ones is. I tell people all the time, the people that can make you uproar and have you be ready to fight, have you ready to do some other things too, that have you in jail or whatever like that. But you can't do that, because they're your loved ones, your family, your friends or whatever like that. People that you know what I'm saying, your significant other or whatever like that. but yeah, again, mainly your loved ones, they will literally take you out of character, take you out of the box. So instead of doing that, I just don't mind dealing with you from a 10-foot pole. If you want to be toxic, if you want to be, having in communication or whatever like that, or miscommunication, or you listening too hard or whatever like that, or every time we get off the phone, it's going towards completely to the left or whatever like that. That's a problem for me. That's completely a problem for me or whatever. And this is crazy because I'm gonna be able to do this in one take. I'm not doing no editing. I'm posting this exactly how it is. My phone is accumulated with a whole bunch of data anyway, so I probably wouldn't be able to edit this video if I wanted to, without really chopping and screwing it or whatever like that. So I'm gonna just leave it really at that. Instead of allowing people to take you out of character, and that's really what it comes down to. Don't allow people to take you out of character. Just choose to deal with them where they are. Meet them where they are. Meet them in the middle or whatever. And just choose to deal with them, how they are. I didn't got into, even with disputes or whatever, beefs. I don't believe in beefs or like that. That stuff is so stupid or like that. Like, we grown, who beefing nowadays or whatever like that, and for what? You know what I'm saying? So instead of like that, I'm just like, okay, I don't have to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I do not have to deal with you. You can accept, people accept what they want to accept. If you want to accept half of a love language from your significant other, do it. You know what I'm saying? He or she, and I'm just giving examples, you know what I'm saying? Because people, is really going to look at whatever they want to look at, however they're going to look at it or like that. But I'm just giving you examples. If you tolerate somebody giving you a half kiss or whatever like that, eventually they're not going to be kissing your ass or whatever like that. They're just going to be doing what they want to do or whatever like that, and going about their business or whatever like that. You have chose and made a decision that you're accepting that half love. You're accepting or like that. You're accepting it. So if you like it, they love it. Why should they give you a million roses and you okay with half of a kiss or whatever like that? You know what I'm saying? I'm really, really big on analogies or whatever like that. So, I'm always using analogies and stuff, or whatever. Let me start filling with my earpiece or like that before it cut off or whatever. But that's it, y'all. I ain't gonna go no further or whatever like that, because anything else is going be even more unhinged or whatever. And so I completely wanted to do this video or whatever like that in this manner like this, because a lot of times I try to think about my videos and think about what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it, so it can come across in a certain light or whatever like that, and not be this and not be offensive like that. I don't care. I don't care how, whatever you got out of this, you got out of it. Whatever you did or didn't get, you know what I'm saying? Because it'll all make sense when it makes sense. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be some random time like that to where you go through some stuff like that. You're going to be like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? That's what he or she was talking about. And it don't even have to be me. It could be something else that you listened to, something else that you heard or whatever like that you didn't understand in that particular time, because that's how things work. You're not going to understand right then and there. Even some of the gospel songs that I grew up with hearing, and that you may have grew up hearing as well, because they're all the same, they all similar, but the gospel song, you will understand better by and by, when the morning comes. All the saints are gathering to go home or whatever like that. We will tell the story how we have overcome. These are the words, those are the lyrics and stuff like that. If you haven't heard the song, but we will understand better by and by. That is the song. That's literally, that's literally what the song is telling you. And a lot of these gospel songs are like that I have learned and I have heard growing up, but baby, them words don't hit until you actually going through a situation like that. And those words actually hit even more now that I'm an adult and stuff like that. So again, that is how things perspire. You don't understand or whatever like that. You be all, doing the regular activities of the day, And then I promise you, whatever like that, something will happen or whatever like that, and then you'll hear a song. It'll remind you of a moment or whatever like that, or you'll go through a situation or like that, and then you'll be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You'll be like, oh snap, that's crazy. That's what happened. La la. Yeah, my bad. My sinus has been going crazy or whatever like that. This rain, I guess, or whatever, and then I'm draining too like that. I be drinking my tea and stuff like that too and working out. So a lot of that stuff be draining or whatever. My body is definitely tends to spit out anything that's going on or like that. So yeah, my body don't like it. It's getting rid of it or like that. And I don't even have to be taking no medicine or anything like that or whatever. So eradicates. That's the word I was looking for. My body eradicates anything that's going on that's not right or whatever. So all right, y'all. Thank you for joining. Let me do my little my outro. My outro is the same as my intro, whatever like that. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for being a part of Talon Talks, where growth is inevitable without knowledge, understanding, and life experiences. So we will do this again or whatever as always and stuff like that. I just wanted to, get some things off of my chest or whatever like that, and just. If you are a parent, and now I'm getting ready to do my little inspiration on a little bit like that and stuff like that. If you are a parent and stuff like that, and you're a parent for this the first time and stuff like that, congratulations. Don't allow any of the things that you hear and you see to get in the way of your journey with your child and stuff like that. Build those bonds when the child is young and stuff like that or whatever. Create those moments and stuff like that. And then you're going to have those seeds of Chucky and stuff like that you might just go through any old thing with and stuff like that. And you're not even going to understand. It'll be the opposite. You poured into your child and stuff like that as much as possible or whatever like that, because it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to beat up on parents and stuff like that. I'm a very, very loving person and stuff like that. And just as much as I have trauma, just as much as, somebody else has trauma like that, people go through things or whatever like that. So that's all I want. I want completely health and wealth and good things for my entire family, near and far. My family is huge. I have family in every state. You know what I'm saying? My father's side is very large. My mother's side is very large. I feel like I'm split in the middle. My father's side is from Florida. My mother's side is from Philly. Okay, I don't care about putting myself on the pedal. I don't care about putting myself, you know what I'm saying, on display or whatever you want to call it. Listen, ain't none of our lives really private. Okay, at the end of the day, anybody could pull your card or whatever, and then you be sitting up here like that, defending yourself or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that. A lot of my life or whatever like that, I choose to be in the forefront with me having my business, a public business or whatever like that, and even with me, being inspirational and stuff like that, in a vessel for people and stuff like that to pour into, because somebody did it for me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I just like to do it for other people like that, even if I am going through different things or whatever like that, because it does, help me too, whatever like that. People don't understand when you encourage other people, you're really encouraging yourself too. So I'll go ahead and end it there again. I just said I was going to end it about 4 or 5 times now like that, but I'm actually, the other inspirational thing that I wanted to say too is, if you have lost a parent or whatever like that, I really, 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 really am sincerely sorry. I have empathy towards you, even though I have no clue what it feels like to lose a parent. Okay. But again, I do know what it is to lose a friend, unfortunately, because nobody wants to feel these feelings. But I have lost now 2 different people that was very, 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 very close to my life and stuff like that, up and close and personal or whatever. And like I said, losing somebody, period, is just a totally a thing in itself. The emotions that you experience, the sadness that you experience, which is of course along the lines of emotions like that. But again, the things that you experience, period, or like that, and you know, like the emotions is crazy. You be up and down, you be sad, you be happy, you be selfish or whatever. You can't take that out of it or like that, because if you don't or whatever like that, if you do like that, you'll be completely being dishonest with yourself. And I don't like to be, you know, dishonest with myself. I don't lie to other people, and it's definitely one thing I don't do. I don't lie to myself. So again, um, I am sorry for anyone's lost if you have lost a parent, but I still want people to know or whatever, no matter whether you lost that parent or not, y'all still had that same relationship. Y'all still had those same feelings towards each other, whether they were good feelings or whether they were bad feelings. So a lot of people, when somebody passes away, there's this new grief on them, and I really don't know why. That's just one little aspect that I wanted to express or whatever like that. Like I used to, you know, not really have a heart. I really used to like have an issue with crying and stuff like that. And I prayed to God, like God, you know, soften my heart or whatever like that and stuff. Cause I don't want to seem like no cold hearted person or whatever like that. But no, you could tell me that somebody, you know, passed away and I'll be like, oh, okay. Like not that I didn't care or whatever like that, but I'm from Philadelphia where we are taught not to cry. We taught to have a backbone or whatever like that. Like we taught purposely when something bad happens to you or when somebody do something, don't have no reaction. And be super nonchalant. Like the more nonchalant the better. Like don't let nobody see you sweat. Don't let nobody see you cry. Like that's for real my environment, what I grew up with. So a lot of the times or whatever like that, I be having to stop and be like, oh snap, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me stop. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like let me pull it back or whatever like that. So and then of course now with age, and then now you get a little bit of religion in you, whatever like that. Now I'm boohooing all over the place, like real quick. So I watch a Carabo, I watch a Judge Judy. I'm over here sitting up here crying all over the place. But no, like I'm playing, but I'm not. Y'all know what I'm talking about for people that's over 30 or like that. So and I'm excited. I'm excited about life. I'm excited for my future. I'm excited for my family's future, whatever like that, and for their success in future as well. So yeah, all right, that's it or whatever like that. I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day as well. It's been raining a lot too. I'm literally still just getting back in town or whatever. I got some endeavors coming up or whatever, and everything like that. Endeavors that I'm still continuing like that. That I really ain't telling nobody. That's not nobody's business. It's just my work and what I do or whatever. So yeah. I'm gonna keep doing that or whatever that's coming back up. So back to work. I'm also still, of course, my business don't stop no matter what or whatever. So new ventures with the business is definitely coming. It's actually already here. I've been working on them immensely. I'm always working on stuff behind the scenes 24/7. Even when my eyes are asleep, I promise you I'll still be working. So all right, y'all. Thank you for joining in. We will do it again. And yeah, always stay inspired or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I already did my outro, so I'm not going to do it again. Stay blessed.